Hi friends, TUXX here. For this particular video, we'll be looking at this MP3 player. I've been actually using this for a couple weeks now, and I felt like it was due time to go ahead and review it for the channel and actually talk about this a little bit. You know, I've been on a quest to try and find the best ways of listening to Ultra HD music, largely supplied by Amazon, but you can buy, MP3s or rip your own if you will. And I kept hearing about this name, this Surfans, okay? And this is model F20, and this is a HiFi digital music player. And so I went ahead and ordered one, and you can see this, it comes in a really nice little package. Like, I was quite impressed with this, like, kind of metallic blue looking box. So this is very giftable. Before I go further, I do want to mention there will be a link for you below, so be sure and click the link to get one at the best price, okay? But I was really impressed with the way it looked. Was very pretty. Definitely came highly recommended, and just my initial impression just from the box alone was like, I felt like I was in for a pretty good experience here, the way this looked, you know? But there's some good and some opportunities too, so we're gonna get into the good and the bad on this. Let's go ahead and open this up here, and you can see when you first open it up, nice black inside, again, very nice looking box. Now looking at the manual here, you can see it's very, very thick. Definitely a nice, thorough little user manual. Again, this is the F20 MP3 player. The one page I wanted to kind of go to right away is the tech specs. I know you guys love specs, and just to let you know, this is capable of reading, a wide variety of music formats here. As you can see, APE, and that's 192 kilohertz, okay, which is a lot. That's like the kind of the gold standard in Ultra HD music, and it just lists as being 24-bit, okay? Make note of that. Wave formats, 192, 32-bit. WMAs 192 at 24-bit, WMA lossless at 96 kilohertz to 24-bit, FLAC 192 24-bit, DSD, and that's at 5.6 megahertz 1-bit, DEF at 5.6 1-bit, and then even formats such as AIFF, M4A, AAC, OGG, MP2, and MP3. So again, this can really read pretty much every known music format. If there's one that you really love to use, like honestly love to use, and it's not listed there, let me know in the comments or shoot me an email at tuxtoys@gmail.com, okay? But lots of great audio specs there. I'm not gonna go through every one of these. Again, this is a very in-depth kind of an audiophile type MP3 player, so there's a lot of interesting functions and things that maybe you wouldn't even use. And you can see this does go through starting here on page 18, so this is all English here. It has many languages if you so need it. Continuing in the box here, we'll go ahead and pull off the little tab here, and now you can see the actual player and the cord. Now again, the cord was wrapped with a little twist tie, so it comes with your standard cord. And this cord is, USB to a micro USB. I know I did have one viewer saying, oh, USB-C isn't that new. Well, I mean, it's new compared to this, This is what some older Galaxy phones probably use. Most phones now are using a USB-C. That is the newest format that most phones are, using. There's no USB-D right now commonly used. So USB-C is kind of the common format, the most up-to-date format. So I was a little surprised this is an older micro USB, but still, usable. And I'm sure you probably have a lot of these around the house from different phones and various tablets or other devices. It's a very common form factor. So the news of that, the good of that, is the fact this will, work with other cords you already have, or maybe even cords you have. Like in my computers, I have lots of cords kind of like plugged in USBs already, so I can plug things in very quickly, so you don't have to start switching cords all the time. Oh yeah, now look at that. Now this is like where this device really shines, is the fact that it's stunning, it's beautiful. Let's go ahead and pull this out of the box here. We'll just pop this out. There we go. Oops, lost a little card. The actual device itself, very well constructed. Like, first, it has weight to it, guys. Like, people say, oh, like, how's it feel? When you get this in your hand, it definitely has a little weight to it, which that could almost be a negative for some people. But the way I take it is this is a sign of quality. Like, it really feels good in your hand. It feels heavy, it feels sturdy. It feels, some people have said the term glass brick, and I would say that does hold very true. The back here is glass. It is a little scratched up now from use. Nice black glass. The HiFi music player. some basic information on it. This does get scuffed pretty easily, actually, so you may want to try and get some kind of carrier for it or something if you're worried about that black glass getting scratched up. But the actual device itself, man, just looking at the construction of it, it's just very, very nice. This does feel metal. Okay, this feels like a metal infused plastic. You could maybe say it's straight up metal. I've yet to read anything exactly saying, you know, what percentage of metal it is, but it feels like a very solid metal brick. Part of the reason why I go with that is the fact that it feels cold in this room. Like right now, this room, I don't have AC on, but AC was on before I started shooting this video. I turned off the AC to try and make sure the audio is as clean as possible, and you can feel this is cold. Like this feels like cold metal, like a gun or something in your hand. Like it definitely feels quality, feels like a metal device, and you can feel the difference between the glass temperature and the actual metal temperature, which is really stunningly cold, you know. The actual device, the front of it here, very sharp. It's got this little dial, okay, and when I first started using this, I kept wanting to push this, like, you know, like a lot of dial these days will spin, but they'll also have like a touch up, down, left, right, or whatever. And this does not seem to do that. Okay, so that is one opportunity for this player, where this dial itself, you can see it's very beautiful looking, and this is actually metal. You can definitely feel this isn't plastic or something. It feels extremely high quality, and it is metal, and it has this great little ridges on it. So as you're spinning this left and right, you definitely get a feel for where you're at. And besides just spinning left or right, it's clickable. Like you can't really hear it, but as I turn it, like you can feel like every little bit here. See how it's going, like it clicks. It's very clickable, and you can see it does spin left or right all the way around. It doesn't have like an end to the left or right. It just makes a complete circle left or right, and it feels like it's like click, 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 click. Like you can feel that feedback in your thumb as you're using it, you know, from the actual physical, you know, it's like a mechanical keyboard. You can feel it coming back, the actual feedback from the mechanics of the device, which feels good. There is a button here in the middle for pause and play, okay, which is kind of standard. And then the buttons over here, which I kind of wish were on the dial itself. You're kind of conditioned in 2021, you know, to have buttons like left, right. So as I wanted to fast forward, I kept wanting to hit the right here, you know, but of course this is only a dial, and so it doesn't work that way. But right here there is a rewind, a fast forward, and kind of like a go back button, okay? And then this is used for home. So there's times where I kept thinking, okay, so fast forward is here, you know, or here, rewind is here, and then, you know, hitting play here felt kind of awkward or kind of like out of place the way I'm conditioned as a electronics consumer, you know. So in time, you know, you get used to it and it's not that bad, but just at least compared to a lot of devices, it does feel a little out of place, I will say. Now the buttons itself, besides the actual high quality, again, very shiny, very beautiful, very metal, very, very precise feeling dial here, these buttons also are very nice. These feel like they're black plastic, but they are ribbed kind of like this a little bit. You can see there's a little bit of a like indentation on here, so they are very nice quality. They feel very stable. They are clickable. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm gonna push the button a few times. You can kind of hear it. There's a little feedback. They're very springy. They definitely feel nice and quality, although they don't feel metal. Like this feels metal. These feel like polished plastic, maybe is a good term for it. High quality, but not metal. Okay, enough about that. On the top here, we do have a power button, as you can see. Okay, and this whole device is interesting. How there's a lot of really, I don't know if I want to call them like sexy, but like beautiful lines, like in a sports car. Okay, like in my C7 Corvette, there's a lot of lines to it, you know. And this definitely has a lot of interesting little lines to it. At the top here, you can see this is not really like a cooling vent or anything, but it's interesting how they have these like little ridges here, and it does kind of help you feel where you're at with the device. Even the way that your thumb fits here, and then this kind of is raised a little bit to the left, that it definitely feel like if you're using it while running or something, you kind of feel where your thumb is supposed to go, and it kind of stops right there. So I think that's the logic between having this extra little lift here. Okay, now on the side here, there is some buttons. There is a plus button and a minus button for volume. Okay, and then right here is the little slot for your included memory card, which is 32. Okay, so a 32 gig card. Now, even though this is a 32 gig card that's included, it does take up to a 256 card. So while 32 gigs is very good, 256 is actually, of course, a lot bigger. And when it comes to MP3s, you know, you can fill up that space pretty quickly, you know. So like in my car, a lot of my flash drives are about, you know, 75 gigs or so. So it actually is more like one flash drive in my Corvette is bigger than this card, you know. So they included 32 gig card. So you might actually want to go ahead and do the upgrade and put a bigger card in yourself, but that's kind of up to you. You know, keep in mind the bigger card will result in having to like search more and, you know, go through and find the music more. So I'm really thinking I'm going to use this more as a device to put like my favorite music on and not try and just bank like every album, every group I've ever heard of, you know, on it. Now, as we look at the bottom of the device here, you can see there's a couple of little things. We have headphones out, okay. There is the, you know, USB, and there is a line out, okay. Now, headphones out and line out, there's a little bit of a difference in volume. Line is more consistent for stereos, that kind of thing. And then headphones, of course, is headphones. Now, I did find the headphones loud. Like, I used my Alienware headphones, which you can see in the queue, those videos on it. And I did try a variety of other headphones, but the Alienware ones are the ones which are kind of like my go-to Ultra HD audio headphones right now. And they sound fantastic. Like, this sounds nice and loud. I was really pleased with that. And of course, you can't hear that over the video. I can't play copyrighted music, nor would it sound the same on your computer speaker as it does with my Alienware headphones. But you just have to take it my word for it that it sounds beautiful. Like, this is a good quality player. It's going to make music sound good. And it really does. It really does make your music shine. But of course, the music is only as good as the included MP3 you're playing it from. You know, so if you're playing a Ultra HD, you know, MP3, it's going to sound awesome. You know, if you're playing some, you know, junk MP3 that you got from the internet for free, you know, or one that you ripped yourself that was at a low bit rate, it won't sound quite as good as an Ultra HD MP3. Now on the side here, there's nothing, as you can see, but there is some cool little lines, you know, and that's the whole side of it. So all in all, very, very cool. I do like the aesthetics of it, but the whole player, you know, is basically a very small player, and that's great for, you know, just putting in your pocket or throwing in the car, that kind of thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and power this up here. We're going to hit power on the top here. Okay, so you can see the size of the screen is very small. Like, as a player goes, we're kind of conditioned to having, you know, full front screens on phones and things. So it feels a little, I don't know if I want to say outdated, but it's a very small screen. And what makes matters a little bit worse is the fact that, you know, there's a lot of very small text going on here. I don't know if you can read the very small scrolling text here, but it does give some very detailed information about the music, the song, the quality of playback, that kind of thing here. But it's so small that makes it very difficult to read. In the actual menus, you can see here, you can read the song titles very easily, that kind of thing. There's a way you can change the colors of the background here to black, and there's a few different themes you can have to the colors, but it's all pretty consistently looking like that, where you have like one color and the song titles. And this is definitely functional. You can kind of read through it no problem. But just at least on this main screen here, you can see it's very difficult to read the song title and this other information that is scrolling here. This little ticker tape of data with, you know, kilohertz C44, it going through, and it reads what's going on here on this particular MP3. Now we're on the subject of menus here. I want to go ahead and back up here. We're going to hit back and we'll go back. You can see that's very legible again. I do want to call out the fact that it doesn't really do like artwork and that kind of thing. While it plays MP3 is great, you think that it could go ahead, like there's an artwork file here in this particular Muse one. Wait, no, it does have no artwork. Okay. Let's see. There's bonus DVD. Does not play that. It says no music. And you can go through and we'll actually, here, let's go ahead and back up. And you can see I just added a little bit of music here just to kind of test this a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one of the photos. We'll go with this one here. You click that and you start hitting play. And of course it goes to the photo, which does look very nice. But again, that does look very small. And of course the data about the song, the yellow font on this blue background, and it's so teeny. I think the color choice of yellow and blue is fine, but it's so small, it's very, very difficult to actually read that information. It's there, but again, you have to look pretty close because it's pretty small. Now I do want to show you the main menu here. From this screen here, we can go ahead and go through, and it has like Explorer, there's EQ, there's a lot of EQ settings, and I do like the way this works actually under Equalizer. It's a large EQ, there's a large variety that you can go through. There's a lot of normal things, like you can switch it from rock to like classic, and you can see there's presets for these, which is nice. Jazz, of course you can make your own as well, so it's nice. The EQ does sound good. Typically I kind of like to leave it off, to be honest, and to me that's sounded kind of in some ways the best, because if you're adjusting the EQ, it sounds great. This unit, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm being a little critical here, but this unit sounds amazing, and the EQ being flat, I thought it sounded awesome, you know. And sometimes adjusting the EQ for rock or any of these presets actually kind of lessens the originality of the way the music is supposed to sound. Now if you have a particular way you like something to sound, of course you can tweak it a little higher, a little bit lower, to have it just the way you want it, which is great. And I do respect the fact there is a wide variety of different EQ settings for you all set up, so you can easily just pick one, or you can do one like, you know, have it set to your own particular preferences and go line by line by line by line by line and set it exactly how you want it, which is very easy with this scroll wheel. I'm not going to do that on video, but if you have questions, reach out to me, tuxtoys@gmail.com. It's quite easy to do, and it is a nice big EQ, as you can see. Now, as far as playing this, I do recommend wired headphones for the best audio playback. If you're really into Ultra HD, you know, the highest quality audio settings, playing it through, you know, wireless or Bluetooth is not the best way to get the highest quality playback. Now the playback will be great, obviously, you know, no matter how you play it back, but at least for me, maybe I'm a little bit of a purist, you know, but I do believe in using wired connections when trying to play Ultra HD music. Now if you did want to use Bluetooth, this does have Bluetooth 4.0 included, okay, and that is fast lossless transmission, okay, so they kind of say that you can play it back in Bluetooth and have the same audio quality, and maybe your ear can't even hear it. It's very possible, but it is something where I tend to lean towards plugging in with a cable, just in case, okay. This device itself does not have an online store. This is really meant as a MP3 player, so you load your MP3s, you know, via the supplied cable, you know, from your computer, your device, you know, via that plug, and from that point you play your MP3s. So it's really hard to say, you know, you can't use like Amazon Ultra HD, like the streaming service, because it doesn't actually have apps. Okay, this is simply a music player, just a extremely high quality music player. So if you're into playing MP3s, this is a great way to go. And again, it does do, you know, Bluetooth 4.0, so you can use that with headphones, you can use that with your car, you can use that with a whole bunch of different devices if you so choose so. And it's very easy to set it up. I'm not going to show the setting up of the Bluetooth in this video, but if you have questions, reach out to me. I think if you use Bluetooth frequently, you probably already know how to do that. But again, if you need help, just let me know. Okay, so to recap, this is the Surfans F20 music player. This is a device which has been highly recommended to me, and I'm glad they did, because I really am enjoying this device. You can find these devices brand new on Amazon, and I'll have the best price for you right below. This is really a high quality item, so this is something which could make an amazing gift for someone else, or maybe for you. You know, if you're into music, if you like the best quality music in your MP3 playback, this is definitely a great way to go. Again, the cons of this device, the screen's a little bit small, you know, the fact that it, you know, it doesn't have like a full like app store and full smartphone like frontal display. You know, it makes the screen a little bit smaller, and it makes it where it's a little more isolated, where you can't use streaming services like Amazon Ultra HD. But just as a standalone music player, I have not found a finer MP3 player. This is really an amazing audiophile, like high quality MP3 player. I did a little research actually before making the end of this video, where the actual actual metal is metal. It's a zinc alloy metal. So this whole thing is just incredible quality. As I mentioned, we got glass in the back, zinc alloy metal through the whole front. So it feels like a really precision device, in which it is. You know, it feels quality, you know, and that's really nice, and it feels good in your hand. And the most important part is playing music through this sounds awesome. Okay, and again, playing audio on this, it really depends on the quality of your MP3. You know, so if I play MP3 on this, it's not going to sound the same to you, you know, through your computer as it would with headphones plugged into this, because Ultra HD music, let me tell you guys that I'm kind of obsessed with this. Like, if you go back to my channel, you'll see I've had a number of videos trying to find the best way of playing Ultra HD music, because it's great listening to Ultra HD, because when you listen to Ultra HD, I discover things in songs which I've known for years, you know, and all of a sudden, like, you know, maybe it's a new song, or maybe it's a song you've been a fan of for, you know, years, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've been listening to those Nirvana albums, you know, since the 90s, never mind, but all of a sudden I noticed something a little bit different, you know, that an extra little twing in the guitar, or something in the bass, or something in the vocals that I never really heard before. And that's what makes, you know, Ultra HD music really magical, is the fact that you get that much closer to the purest version of listening to the music. And that's what these quality MP3 players are all about. Again, super high quality device. The wheel feels great in your hand. The buttons feel great. The screen, although a little bit small, okay, I'll be critical here, a little bit small, it looks nice. You know, the whole thing feels extremely high quality, and it's just a great little MP3 player. I would highly recommend this. Buy this for yourself, or buy this for someone else you know who's really into playing music. And again, this will play a whole variety of high-end music formats, you know, at the highest quality, you know, frequencies. So this is something where you can really enjoy your high quality music through a high quality player. Okay, if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me, tuxtoys@gmail.com. But again, hit that link down below. Trust me, buy one of these and you're gonna love your music that much more. All right, friends, thanks for watching. Any questions, reach out to me, tuxtoys@gmail.com. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.